Hey everyone.
Hi everyone. Happy month of love.
Yeah, it's February, so we're celebrating the month of love, and today
We're
we're going to
wearing
talk
red
about our little love story here.
because, we are your realtor, your real estate team, but we are also a couple.
Yeah, we're lovers.
We are lovers and we
We're lovers
run our
and
business
friends.
together. And we have found that people kind of like that we are a couple and, they kind of get two for the price of one,
Yeah, essentially.
essentially. So today we're going to tell
Not all
you
realtors are equal.
about how we met and kind of our little love story.
Yeah. So give you a little bit of background here. I'm obviously from Omaha.
I am
And,
not. I'm from Chicago.
My dad, he grew up in Chicago, and he noticed that I was kind of running with the wrong crowd a little bit in high school. And, it was kind of an interesting situation because I was also like very dedicated to my schooling, and I was very involved in the community at my high school.
You were a smart kid.
Yeah, so I was involved with the community at my high school, and I was also, had above average grades. So I had the ability to get some scholarships when I was looking at colleges. But since of my history with some of my friends and stuff like that, my dad, he took a map and he drew a 300-mile radius around Omaha and said you can go anywhere as long as it's outside of this 300-mile radius.
So
Okay.
he was like really trying to get you away from those
And I
people.
knew that my dad was originally from Chicago, so
And this is interesting. Where your dad was from, Chicago, he is the neighborhood that neighbors my neighborhood that I grew up in.
yeah, so a lot like in Omaha, we have neighborhoods. In Chicago, they have townships. So, for example, in Omaha, you might have Morton Meadows separated by Field Club just by a golf course. Well, they have the same thing in Chicago. It's just bigger. It's bigger towns.
Different zip codes?
I don't know if there are different zip codes in your
Chicago.
area. But, so yeah, fast forward to going to school in Chicago. I'm at my last day of school. I'm just graduating, get my diploma, and my parents want to take me out to dinner. Back to where, this area where my dad kind of grew up in, out in the suburbs.
It was a new restaurant in the town that your dad grew up in.
Yeah.
And your dad's friend that he grew up with in this town was like, hey, we got to go try this new restaurant. It was called the Big Hurt Brew House. It was Frank Thomas. If you know him, professional Hall of Famer.
Baseball player, right?
Player, yep. Well, he actually did, I think, play like a couple sports. But I think baseball is like where he's like known.
Yeah, so while I was in school in Chicago, my dad, I think, had a overall goal to get back home for himself. He wanted to push me to Chicago and see if he could ultimately, keep me there. And
that you'd meet someone in Chicago, you'd start like a family in Chicago, and then he also later tried to push your sister to go to school in Chicago. So like he was hoping that all of his kids would meet someone, find someone in Chicago that would ultimately get him back there.
yeah, 'cause he always wanted to get back home.
Yeah. So, anyways.
So, we get to this restaurant, the Big Hurt Brew House, and
I'm there.
Renata's there. She was.
I'm at the door. I'm at the hostess
Yeah,
stand.
you were at the hostess
I'm a waitress, and I am at the hostess stand. Not a lot going on, and it was towards the end of the night, right? It was
I think it was actually like maybe 6 o'clock or so.
So, anyways, walks in young, fresh out of college, dirty boy Sean Kelly, bro, Goodwill clothes on, like just looking like a college boy.
Yeah.
Who's been living with dudes for the past 4 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he walks in with his family, and I was like, okay, this is gonna be a pretty good table, Gotta get those tips. I was like,
tips.
I'll take them. I'll take this table.
Yeah, for sure. And we noticed, like, right off the bat, this waitress was very outgoing, very nice, like, had a really good personality.
No, none of that mattered. The only thing that mattered was that I was A, from Chicago. B, these were like kind of like the qualifying questions that Sean's dad asked me as I'm like taking drink orders and getting their orders.
Yeah, my
Where
dad.
are you from? Oh my God, you're from Westchester, Illinois. That's the town that neighbors the town I grew up in. 2 was, are you Italian? Yes, I'm Italian. And 3 was like, you like to work? You like to work a lot, right? So we needed an Italian worker from Chicago.
Yeah.
That was like kind of cute.
And my dad was an absolute savage, this whole entire time. Like, he was just...
He seriously was.
He was just going after it.
He was like, my son just graduated from college. He's like educated.
And yeah, he was like... Because I kept my dad updated, like throughout college. Like, yeah, there's a lot of nice girls here, but...
This was his last shot. This was Sean's dad's
nothing seemed to work out.
shot at getting Sean back to Chicago by meeting a girl, and he took advantage. He said, listen, like towards the end of the night, we're having fun, he's like, my son hasn't really met many nice girls here. You seem like a really nice girl. And he was like giving it everything he got, like everything he's got. He was like laying it out. He was like, he was like almost announcing
He was hard selling.
He was hard selling Sean. He was hard selling Sean to me. So I was like, okay, yeah, like that's so fun. And
yeah, I think he finally
Sean asked for my number. No, your dad didn't ask for my number. You
No,
did.
I think he did like kind of ask like, hey, would you, can Sean stay here with you, essentially, because I was moving out of my apartment and stuff.
I don't remember that. I don't know.
And you were kind of joking around like, yeah, you can pay me.
I was definitely like,
hey, how much do you want to pay me?
I was definitely saying like, all right, Dad, come on, Dad.
Yeah.
I was calling your dad. Like, all right, Dad, hey, Dad, should we do a round of shots? Because I'm kind of thinking like, how am I going to get this price ticket up? These people like me, I'm thinking about the tips. I'm looking at Sean. I'm like, he's pretty cute. He hasn't had a haircut in 4 years, but he's pretty cute. And,
he brought us over some shots, obviously. I drank those, and I just graduated.
So anyways, we're at this restaurant.
I was feeling very confident.
Sean asks for my number. He gets my number, doesn't call me for like a week. And I'm like, you know what? Who is this guy? And then like a week and a half later, I get a call from a 402 number. And I'm like, who is this? So I don't answer it. And it goes to voicemail. And I listen to the voicemail. It goes, hey, Renata, it's Sean Kelly. I later found out that it was because his dad made him call me. It's not because he wanted to call me. Hey, Renata, it's Sean Kelly from Omaha, Nebraska, and I'm coming into Chicago. I have to clean out my apartment, and I'd like to take you out, maybe, if you're available. Let me know. And I'm like...
Yeah, my dad was teaching me how to rope him in.
I was like, you know what? I am not going to stop what I already have for my Friday night plans to go out with this guy who took a week to call me back. Or just to call.
Yeah.
And so then I'm like, yeah, it's Friday night. I play softball on a co-ed team. You can go to my softball game if you want, but, I'm playing softball.
Yeah.
And so then he came, to my surprise, he came to the softball game.
Yep.
With your sister.
Yep.
Good move. Killer Kate.
My wingman.
We hung out that night.
We hung
and
out.
then that next day, that was a Friday, Saturday, my parents had a private party at my dad's restaurant. Shout out Bonabino's. And
we went down there.
Sean and his sister
had some dinner.
Yep.
Brought my boy Casper.
Yep. And that Saturday night, you and your sister asked my dad, again, super protective parents, if you guys could fly me to Omaha the following weekend for the College World Series.
Yes, thank God for the College World Series.
And so, to my surprise, he said yes. And I came down the next weekend, and I met you in Omaha. And we stayed at the lake house at the cabin. And here we are.
The rest is history.
The rest is history. So that is the 10-minute preview of how SK and Ren met at the Big Heart Brew House. A couple years later, after I had moved here, we went back to that restaurant and had changed names. And it still is a restaurant today, though.
Yeah.
On the corner of Oak Park and Cermak.
Yep. Great little place. Great little place.
That's where we met.
A lot of history there. Yep, that is how we met.
That's how we met. And I think the next video we have to do about how we kind of started our career.
Yeah. Yes.
But now you know how we met. And
fantastic story.
2015, we met in 2015. You
2015,
graduated in May.
I graduated.
I think I met you May 2nd, 2015.
Yep.
16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So 9 years later, we are married. We have our little baby, Sonny. And we're happy. I'm just joking. Yes, we're very happy, very blessed, and grateful that we get to share with you guys and share our business and ultimately work together.
Yes, yes.
It has its ups and downs.
It's been a blessing.
For sure.
It's been a blessing. Well, thank you guys for tuning
Love
in.
ya.
I love you too.